Hi, I'm messing with my computer here still a little bit. Welcome to the Mel-Tran Designs podcast. I am your host, Melissa, also known as Anansi on Ravelry and Ravelry, Plurk and Instagram. I am Mel-Tran Designs. Mel-Tran-Designs.com is where you can find my podcast and on YouTube. And there's a Mel-Tran Designs group on Ravelry, which also I put the link on. Actually, I embed the video, so you can just watch it straight on Ravelry if you want to. So anyways, today is October 24th, 2014, and welcome. If you are new, thank you for joining us. If you're old, thanks for coming back. Okay, well, you don't have to be old. You can be young, but whatever. My hair's really bugging me, and I'll probably mess with it. That's just how it is. I wore a hat today, though, because I wanted to wear it. It hasn't been quite cold enough, but I'm really excited about it, and so, so I'm wearing a hat. It's not even that cold, and my hair is going to look really funny when I pull it off, but anyways, how have you been? You can tell me, I'm listening. Good. Good. Sounds like you've had a good 3 weeks since I recorded last. I apologize for that. My kids were out of school for 2.5 weeks, and it is so difficult to record during the day with the 3 older ones running around the house. Quinn sleeps in the afternoon, so that's why I can record right now. They do not. So that's why I have missed, and I'm sorry. I miss recording when I don't do it. I really honestly do. So anyways, I'm here, and I'm going to do my best to record as often as possible. So anyways, a rundown. I'm not going to talk too terribly long today. I have crock-pot stuff cooking that I have to switch, which actually I just have to switch it to low, I guess, when the timer goes off. So I'm making slow cooker beef stroganoff tonight. So good. And it's not the other stroganoff recipe I have. It's not in the slow cooker, and it calls for just ground meat. This is with steak strips. Yeah, we're eating good tonight. Yeah, it's BSU game though. You know, hey, gotta eat good for supporting our team. Anyways, previously we went to the pumpkin patch, I guess 2 weeks ago, and got our pumpkins like we do every year, and the kids painted them. I have pictures of them that I might put in if I decide at the end. I don't know, we'll see. We paint them instead of carving them because, well, let's face it, as parents, we do all the carving, pretty much, and all of the cleaning out of the guts, and all of the separating of the seeds, and we pretty much do all the work, and the kids just pick the picture. And then they start to rot, especially this year because it's been 75 degrees. Not this week, but last week it was, and they would have already been carved. So anyway, another benefit too is that when you paint, you know, they can go all the way around the whole outside instead of just that one side. So there's lots of bonuses. And I painted a cute little wee one for Quinn. I didn't paint a picture. I just put her name and the year and kind of a little flower around the top. So anyways, we did that. We picked apples while we were there. We do that every year, and they're dang cheap when they're in season and you pick them. I tell you what, cheaper than any of them at the store, and all the ones at the store are locally grown. But because it's you pick, you don't have to pay for whoever's, you know, hourly pay to go pick them. They have the ones that were still on, because some of them are earlier in the season and we missed those, but there was Red Delicious and Golden Delicious, and not the Red Delicious crap that you get at the store that are mushy and gross. And bleh. They're good, because these people, they're not USDA certified organic because they don't want to go through all the hoopla of trying to get certified. They farm organically, which I can't afford organic food except for their apples. So anyways, we got those, but then they also have a third set that was, they're over here, that's why I'm pointing kind of this way. They're called Criterion apples, and they're what does she call them? Like an antique, or anyway, it's an old variety that isn't sold in any stores or anything, and oh my gosh, are they good. They're green, not green like Granny Smith, more greenish yellow like a Golden Delicious, but a little more green, if that makes sense. So anyway, they're sweet. They're kind of on the tart side, but not not, I hate Granny Smith apples. Like, they're not tart like that, and no. Anyways, they're good. They're so good. So we got a bunch of those, way more than we planned. We got like 22 pounds. I don't even know. It was so much. Anyway, we've been eating those, and I made apple crisp earlier this week, which I don't like baked apple things. I hate apple pie. It's disgusting. But I was like, well, I've liked apple crisp in the past, so I'll make some of that. Oh my gosh, was it amazing. And then I started thinking, when people bake things, all of the recipes call for tart apples. Well, those are Granny Smiths. I hate Granny Smith apples. Like I said, if I didn't say it, I did. But I'm saying, if you didn't understand, I hate Granny Smith apples. Ruins carameled apples. So, I think that's why I don't like apple pie. So I made the apple crisp amazing. Yesterday, there's a hole in my sock. I made caramel apple crisp bars, and they were really good too. Look at this. I have a hole in my sock. Man. Alright, I'll fix it. I've never had a hole in the ankle, and they aren't even in a spot where a moth could get to them. Oh, I love this yarn too. It's Huckleberry Knits, and it's her inked colorway, and I love it. I bought it at Sock Summit. I'll fix it. I'm going to put it back on, though, because my foot's getting cold. Okay, sorry. Anyways, those were good last night, too, the caramel apple crisp bars. And we do still have some left, and because we've had them for a couple weeks, you know, apples don't last forever, I'm kind of playing with the idea of maybe making a pie with them to test my theory. And if I don't like it, my kids and Jake would love it. He loves apple pie, and I never make it because I don't like it. But maybe I'll make it and see if they like it, and if I do, and anyways, blah blah blah. So there's that. I've been addicted to my crock pot. Been making a lot of things in there. I post them on Facebook. Oh, there's a Facebook group too. I don't think I mentioned that earlier. A Mel-Tran Designs Facebook group. But yeah, I've been doing that. I'm trying out some new recipes this week, or these next 2 weeks, that I bought the ingredients for Salisbury steak. I've never had real Salisbury steak. I've only had the TV dinner version, but it was always my favorite TV dinner version. My favorite TV dinner was always the Salisbury steak. So I'm going to make real Salisbury steak without all the extra crap that goes into a TV dinner. And let's see what else. Oh, meatloaf, but not just regular meatloaf. I found this really good. It has all this stuff that you put in it, and it sounds amazing. And tomorrow, my family doesn't know this, even my husband, I want to surprise him, I'm making waffle pizzas. You use like Grand's biscuits, and you put just like a slice of mozzarella cheese and some little mini pepperonis and another Grand's biscuit, and you close your waffle iron, and bam, you have a waffle pizza. How cool is that? Sounds so good and fun. Okay, I thought I heard Quinn, but it was somebody outside. The window's open like that much. Anyway, so making that. There's other stuff. Carne asada again. We got that last week too. Anyway, I can't think of anything offhand, but if you would like for me to post the recipes, or if you're interested or whatever, let me know and I can put them in the show thread or something. Anyway, I don't always get a lot of responses in general about my episodes, so hopefully you're all out there watching stuff. So anyway, I think that's all that's really been going on. I'm teaching classes. Tonight's the last class of the Circle Mitts set of classes, and then the next one that we start will be the Miranda sweater, and I'm super excited about that because I am going to knit it in the month of November. And for any of you that don't know, if you're a writer, or even if you're not a writer and you've heard of NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writers Month, which is November, and the goal is to write 50,000 words. Well, on Ravelry, there's a group called NaNoSwimo, And so instead of the WRI, it's SWE, and it's knitting a sweater in the month that has 50,000 stitches in it, which I know sounds like a lot, but it's a whole sweater for Pete's sake. Well, I'm a decently small person, and so a sweater for me to get 50,000 stitches has to be a lighter weight for the most part, like fingering or sport weight. But because I have to knit this sweater for this class that I'm teaching, I don't have time to also devote to a fingering weight or sport weight sweater. So because I am knitting the long sleeve version, I'm going to make it a little longer than I make my regular sweaters, because this is going to be kind of a hoodie sweater for me. So those I like to have, you know, a little longer, so they're as long as my t-shirts and stuff. And I'm going to put a hood on it, and there's a pocket, so that has the added. Even if I don't hit the 50,000 stitches, my plan is to still do the whole sweater in the month of November, and whatever the stitch count is at the end, even if I don't qualify to be entered for the prizes that they have, so be it. That's what I'm knitting, that's what I have the time for, but I'm still doing it with the group, and that's just how it is. So anyways, if you're interested, it's spelled, I can write it right here really fast and show you how they spell it and put it on Ravelry, or you can just do a search, or you can go into my my page and look at, not my page, my profile. Sorry, I'm trying to write and talk. My profile, and see what groups I'm in, and you'll see it. No swim. So here's what it looks like. NaNoSwimo. Oh, I hear Quinn. No, she just needs her binky. I'm not going to stop this and start it again, so just hold on. All right. Anyways, doing that in November. I told you my hair is just bugging me. Anyway, doing that in November. So if you want to join, come join. Let me know if you are going to. I could even open up a thread in the group if enough of you will be doing it, and we could talk about it there. I'd love it if people were more chatty in the group. I check every day, but even when I post, nobody responds, so I just don't start threads. So anyways, all right. I think that's all. Going on / coming up. That's coming up. And so is the class. Going on. Not much really. So yeah. All right, we're going to move on to the knitting, because I don't know how long she'll actually stay asleep. So works in progress. The first thing I'm going to show you is actually something that will be an FO in about 30 minutes. It's the broken seed stitch socks. These were not on the needles last time. The day that we went to the pumpkin patch, my sister came over later, and we were all just kind of hanging out, and I was antsy, and I couldn't figure out why, and I was like, I want to knit something, and I looked at what I had on the needles, and I was like, I don't want to knit those. What do I want to work on? And I was like, I need a sock. I haven't made a sock in months. And I went, and I was wanting to make the broken seed stitch socks actually for like couple years, year and a half maybe, I don't know. They've been on my to-do list for a long time, and instead of having the white kind of as the top and the colors underneath, I switched it so the bright colors are on top and the white is underneath. So here's the first one. You can see I just did solid, you know, just the plain self-striping, and then started doing the white there. And then for the cuff, what I wanted to do was go through kind of a whole color repeat. So I did the white, and then the multicolor, or orange, multicolor, and then I just did this until the orange showed up, and then I started binding off, so that the whole top was the same color. And for the first time ever, I used the Fish Lips Kiss Heel, and it cracks me up because that's totally what it looks like, as if you're making fishy lips. So as everyone else who's made it, here's the thing. I knew about this right when she was going to be releasing it because I went to Zombie Apocalypse last year and she was there and was going to be teaching a class on it that I decided not to take. But anyways, I knew about it and just hadn't used it. I haven't really made that many socks lately. So I finally used it and holy cow, is it fun. Like all the other podcasters that have used it are like, wow, this is a lot of fun and it looks really cool and wow, it is fun and it looks amazing. And the sides, you can really see the sides on this one because the color kind of changed along there. But there are no holes, no gaps, no nothing. It is amazing. And when I put this sock on, wow, does it feel good. I mean, just wow. Wow, wow, wow. So, anyway, there's that. So this is the first one. And the second one, I actually was just getting ready to start doing the ribbing and I was like, wait, I need to record really fast. So here's my ribbing needle because I dropped to a size 0 for that. And it is ready to be ribbed. So I made it as close as identical to the first one as I could. I even have the one strip of dark blue to start out at the toe and everything. So anyways, they are dang close. They're off by like half a row or something like that, which pretty good if you ask me. So anyways, it's a free pattern on Ravelry. I'm really bad about finding out who the author is. It's called Broken Seed Stitch Socks. So you can look into my projects page if you want to click a link to it or just look it up. This is the self-striping yarn. You can see I still have a ton left. And this is some 716 knit and it's called Role Playing Rejects and it's awesomely bright. I bought it at Zombie Apocalypse in 2013. So yeah, I'll have to wait when I'm done and see. I might have enough for another pair of like ankle socks or something too. So, and then the white is just some white off the cone of fingering weight yarn that I have. So there is that in my 31 zipper bag. This, well, I've started it like a million times. It's going to be a cute little wee sweater for Quinn. And this is how much I have. I had more than this. I've actually had almost all the raglan decreases done twice. Increases, excuse me. And my gauge just kept, it was weird. It kept changing and I don't know what was going on. So anyway, excuse me. The pattern for this is not in my queue, but like I've said, if it's something for the baby, that my year of the queue rule is non-existent for that. It's actually something that was already in my library though, so that kind of counts. It's the Iceling set. So there's the Iced cardigan by Carol Feller. This is the baby version, the Iceling that I bought after I made the Iced cardigan. And there's a hat and sweater. It's super cute, straightforward, just top-down raglan with a really large like a double-breasted garter section right here in the middle. And so by putting 2 sets of buttons as the baby grows, you can actually open it that way, or if they have like a thicker shirt on underneath or whatever. So anyway, and Quinn is so dang tiny. I'm still making the 3-month size because at 4+ months old, I measured her chest, and it says that the 3-month is an 18.75 inch chest circumference, and her chest is like 16.5. So we're going to be fine on that one. This yarn, sorry, good grief. This yarn is called Simply Worsted by Haiku, and I made this out of it, and Anansi's crocheted fingerless mitts that I don't think you guys ever saw. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, I made those. My friend gave me after she was done making an afghan out of it, she didn't want all the rest that she had, and it was like 4 skeins worth. So anyways, and this last thing I'm going to show you, it's finished and not, so that'll be my segue into finished objects. The knitting is finished. It is Quinn's Halloween costume. She is going to be a candy corn. It is a cute little dress that has just these straps here, and then I'll put a white long sleeve onesie on underneath it. I've attached the fronts of them. All I have left, which I could have done this before I started, but all I have left is to attach the back. So that's why I said it's pretty much an FO, just not. So yeah, I've been going back and forth if I wanted to knit her a hat, but I don't think I'm going to mess with it. So anyway, there's that. That's called the candy corn jumper, I think is what the actual title of the pattern is. And what I like is that it goes up to like 18 months. Now I have a dress pattern. I can just use some different yarn to make her a dress. And I think I talked about that before. I'm pretty sure I was knitting that before, but I used some Vanna's Choice. Yeah, I did talk about this before because I talked about the colors. The yellow is mustard, the orange is terracotta, and the white is called white. And, no, maybe I didn't talk about, whatever. Whether I did or not. Now you know. It's Vanna's Choice from Michaels. I did 25% off your entire purchase coupon. And so yeah, it was pretty cheap. And I have a decent amount left. And I like the colors together, so I might make something fun out of them. And I don't mind the yarn. There's a hair that came loose and it's tickling my neck. I don't mind the yarn at all. It's better than Red Heart. It's still acrylic, and it'll be able to be washed if she spits up on it. So anyways, that is all of my works in progress. Now onto the FOs. This one, I don't remember if I showed it to you, but it's a newly released pattern that I just put out that has been tested and put under Ravelry. It's called Renee's Challenge. My friend Suzanne, even if I did talk about this before, I'll still tell you again anyway. My friend Suzanne texted me and said, my daughter Renee saw this hat at a store and she wanted to know if I could figure out what it is and knit it up, and I thought you could help. And then she attached the picture. I said, sure, I love a challenge, right? So I got to it and started messing with it and tweaking it, and I had to start the dang thing so many times, and I actually made a whole one that was too small that Kyan wore to school today, and just had to tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak, and finally it worked. And so this one is, you can see it has some twisted stitches. It's a twisted stitches, but not like through the back loop. It's 2 stitches that you twist without cabling, which is nice. Ribbing here, and then you go into the cables. And then up here in the decreases, the decreases are actually written into the cable pattern. And I held the Simply Worsted together with a fingering weight yarn, which is the Tropics colorway by the Sassy Sheep, and this is her MCN base. And so the yarn was already soft, and then I added that to it, and it's just like, oh, so soft. So anyway, it calls for a bulky weight yarn. I may have some bulky weight yarn coming from Lisa Fiber Nymph. Just saying, so I can make it again with a gradient. So anyway, I'm waiting for her update that's in 30 minutes because she has a color block sock set that she's done. And yeah, so I'm gonna add that to my cart first because I have the reserved listing. I'm not even worried about that. It's the other thing that I stupidly went and looked through her shop when I was there because I have a couple things that I've ordered. And so I added those to my cart, and I was like, oh, look, there's pretty stuff underneath it. And I started scrolling through, which I try to avoid her shop. Well, I try to avoid most online yarn shops when I'm not wanting to buy something specific, but I was on there to buy something specific, but hers, I can't resist. So I really, really try and stay away from it. And I was like, well, I'm already buying stuff, so the shipping isn't going to be as much, you know, and by buying multiple things, it offsets. You know, if you buy one thing and there's $5 shipping, to me, it's like instead of paying $20 for the skein of yarn, you've just paid $25 for the skein of yarn. But if you buy 3 skeins and the shipping is like $6, then you've only added $3. You know what I'm saying? Or $2, I mean, $2 each one. So that was kind of my justification. And now I'm like obsessed with that, and I'm gonna buy it. And none of you will know about it because you won't see it right now. So neener neener. But go check and see if they're still there, because she had quite a few. And they're color blocks. They're like a gradient but different colors. And she did 2 balls of them, so your socks will be exactly equal. Just awesome. Just saying. And she even has monochromatic gradients that would look really cool. I'm not going to do one of those, but they'll look amazing. So anyways, there you go. Back to my FOs. I finished my featherweight cardigan. I cannot wear it yet because I haven't finished losing my baby weight, but that's all right. I will. And it looks really short, but it's not because I'm short. So here it is. Let's see if I can lean back and you can see the whole thing. I did make it out of lace weight. And I think the color is called Cranberry. It is by Brown Sheep. It's their Legacy lace. It's not like super, super soft, but it's soft enough that it's fine on my skin. I did the 3/4 length sleeves, which I never do. Well, what I did was I knitted stockinette until right here, right at my elbow, and then I did the ribbing, so that way even when I bend it, it's just the ribbing that's right here. So anyways, I have put it on and kind of worn it around, and like I said, it started to say it's not super soft, but it doesn't bug my skin like itchy wool does. It's just not the softest yarn in the world. So, and I'm fine with that. I have a ton left over, a ton. So anyways, good pattern, very straightforward. You can make it out of fingering or lace weight. It's by Hannah Fettig. I do know that because I've heard it enough times. So anyways, there's that one. Man, that's bugging me. Okay, moving on. I made 2 pairs of slippers for the Head to Toe Knit Along that I'm participating in with Lisa's podcast, 90% Knitting. They're the Seamless Salomas slippers. Here's the first one that I made out of some pumpkin spice colorway yarn that in the sparkly base from the Sassy Sheep. I know it looks tiny, right? Like there it is against my hand, and I have small hands, but it fits an adult-sized foot because of the ribbing. Isn't that awesome? It's a free pattern. Seamless Salomas. Make it. So much fun. And what I did on this one was I did fingering weight held doubled. This one is actually some kind of self-striping, self-patterning. That's the worst tapestry, universal tapestry. Did I talk about this before? Did I talk about these last time? Had I finished them? See, now I'm wondering if they were done. 1, 2, 3. I don't think they were done yet. Anyways, this pair is done. These are a little loose on me, but it's not the end of the world if they're a little loose. So they stay on fine. These are more snug, and so I wear them more. I actually have a friend that I think I'll give these to. I haven't really worn them that much. I just kind of wore them around to see if they would fit and whatnot. So I think I'll give those to a friend of mine. Her feet are a little bigger than mine. So anyways, moving on. Last but not least, another new pattern that I have finished and is the test just completed and all that kind of stuff. Oh, see, now I'm wondering if this one was done. I'm going to show it to you anyways. No. Ah. I really need to look back at my previous. I need to be recording all the time. I'm going to show you this shawl, and if I showed it to you last time, I'm sorry. And if you're new, yeah, you get to see it for the first time. I'm getting on my own nerves. I'm sorry if I'm annoying you. Man, my memory just sucks. Okay, this is my newest As I Go Along shawl. And like I said, it's a new release. This is out of some Malabrigo Silky Merino. And here's the edging. It's in applied edging. The pattern has 4 different, this one is the originally written one. And then it has 4 alternate edgings that you can choose from, and each of my testers knit one of them, and they turned out amazing and beautiful. One of the testers even used a variegated yarn here and then did a solid color down here for the edging, and that looked really cool because it was like a bright yellow. It uses anywhere from 250 yards to 300, depending. You can use as many yards as you want, actually. This is a DK weight, and I wrote in instructions for how you can make the shawl larger. So a minimum of like 260, and you can go up from there. So anyways, love this yarn, love the shawl. It's such a great, this one, you know, writing it as it's written, you aren't going to get a large shawl, and it wasn't supposed to be a large shawl, but as you can see, it covers your arms if it's cold. And what I've been doing the last couple days, because we haven't, even though it's been getting pretty chilly at night, we haven't turned our furnace on quite yet. So in the mornings when I'm getting the kids ready, sometimes my chest will be cold, and so I have been making this into a nice warm, cozy cowl. Ooh, let me just throw you down there. Cowl. And it sits really well because, you know, the wool and silk kind of stick to each other. So it just sits there, and it's so super cozy. So anyways, that's, like I said, that's called As I Go Along, and I'm actually going to be, I'm going kind of nuts with the yarn lately. When we put in our group order for the sweater yarn for the Miranda sweater, we're doing it through Webs, and if you have shopped through them, if you haven't, it's yarn.com, but through Webs you can, once you've spent $60 you get 20% off, and once you hit $120 you get 25% off your whole order of things that are discountable. Well, we hit $120 with like 2 sweaters worth. So I decided to add some yarn to make another one of these out of a yarn that I've been wanting to use for so long. It's called Road to China Light, and if you've used it or touched it, you know what I'm talking about. It has alpaca and other things, camel and silk and something else. My hat feels like it's coming off, but it's not. Anyway, I think there's something else in it. Anyways, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Wool. Probably some wool in there. Anyways, it's not the cheapest yarn, but it's also not like crazy expensive. I'm going to get 3 skeins of it, but at 25% off, it makes it even better. So anyways, I'll be making another one of these. Because this one is smallish, I want to make a little bit of a bigger one. And that one's a sport weight, but I think I'm still going to do the same gauge. So it'll be a little bigger and whatnot. So anyways, that is all I have for you for those. I have been designing a crap ton of stuff. I have a hat that I'm not going to show you because I haven't decided if I'm going to submit it for publication. And I know that they're pretty strict on if it's been seen before, but just know that it's awesome. I think I'm going to do a matching cowl with this and make a, not an ebook, but you can bundle things together now. So if you, or an ebook kind of idea where if you buy both of them, it'll be at a discount or whatever. And I'll do a cowl with that. I'm also still working on the Seasons shawl that I've talked about, that it will be a mystery knit along at some point. And I have a Fiber Nymph gradient out of her Sunshine base that I've designed something for that will play with the 3 colors when she does kind of the block gradient. It's nothing fancy. It's going to be an infinity cowl. I have it cast on and I've knit the first row. And that's all. So that's why I'm not showing it to you. It's like it's pretty much just going to be like, I'm not going to say right now. I trust almost all of you. I know there are people who like to steal ideas, and I'm not super fast right now at getting stuff out because I have limited knitting time. So I'm going to wait. You'll see it though sooner than later because it's not that big. Anyways, I love the idea of it, and it'll be a lot of fun. Look for this hat to be on the needles soon out of the Fiber Nymph yarn that I'm getting that is her mega base. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. If it feels anything like her cozy base, I'm just going to be in heaven. Speaking of which, I ordered 2 skeins of her cozy. That's part of my reserve listing because the hat that I am not showing you is made with 2 different colors of worsted weight yarn, and I wanted to make it again, and her yarn is a great choice. And it uses less than half a skein of each of the colors, and so then I'm going to make the matching cowl. That's why I wanted to get it. And her cozy base, if you've never ordered it, oh, and it's really affordable. Her semi-solids are only like 18 bucks. And if you are looking, I looked and looked and looked just to price compare because I was curious, you know, how hers compared to others that I have favorited on Etsy and stuff. Everybody else is over $20, even for a solid color. So, yeah. And she's awesome. Hello, it's Lisa. 90% knitting. If you don't know who she is, go to fibernymph.com. Just saying hi, Lisa. She didn't tell me to say it. That is not a paid advertisement. That's just me going crazy because I'm so excited and I get to buy yarn in like 20 minutes. Exactly 20 minutes. Ooh, I'm going to wrap up and then I can go hit 5. And I need to turn my crock pot down. If you've heard that buzzing or that beeping every few, like every minute or 30 seconds or whatever, sorry, I didn't get up and go turn it off. No spinning. I'm going to a spin-in on the 8th of November, and that's probably the first time I will get to spin because I have so much stuff that I'm working on that I feel guilty when I spin. So, yeah, I think that's all. I'm going to say that's all. I'm going to wish you a great week or 2 weeks. I hope that it's only a week. Yeah, so until next time, happy knitting. Bye.